Maybe that's a little bit of it. I might actually have a little bit more energy than normal.
I think you had more pressing.
I had more pressing issues. Yeah, Mrs. Smith is not feeling well, so I was playing Nurse Keith.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, Nurse Keith.
I hope you don't wear an outfit, you sicko.
I may or may not actually. Well, I look awfully cute in an outfit.
I mean, I've seen you in spandex.
That's true. That nobody should see that. Yeah, a little bit of.
Are we doing that again?
You know,
it's right around the corner. We're 13 days away.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
Judah, you get your mic on? Let's ask Judah what he wants to do.
He probably wants to go on vacation again, get away from these two crazy people.
He just went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Where it was hotter in Minnesota than Virginia.
Minnesota.
We're already planning our escape for Thanksgiving.
Where are you guys going?
Going to California because Trisha can't.
That sounds like a Led Zeppelin song.
Going to California with
That's right, Led Zeppelin song, classic.
So, because your sis can't make it here?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
It's a long way to go for a short vacation.
For 2.5 days.
Oh damn.
That's what we do for family, though.
Oh. I think we're gonna miss the next Monday.
You're gonna. Oh, okay. We can do that. Thank you for letting me
There
know.
You
right
go.
there.
Let's make a note. Programming.
Yeah. Thank you for letting everybody know right there, Judah Wickauer.
After that, because
this man's already used all his vacation time.
Oh, you actually get vacation time.
Oh,
Look
he
at
does.
You.
He gets paid vacation here.
Back to the question at hand. What should we all dress up as? Should we pivot from our traditional Batman and Robin? So is there anybody out there listening and watching or yet to watch?
Johnny Ornales, ¿qué pasa, amigo?
What should these crazy people get dressed up in for?
I want to dress up as successful restaurateur Johnny Ornales.
There you go. Well, yeah.
The man's a gentleman. He's a scholar. He's a successful businessman.
We had a great show with him on Monday.
Johnny was the man.
And I'm very honored.
Johnny, did you get a boatload of feedback from May Kale and what you're doing on West Main?
And I'm honored that he's sponsoring this recurring third Monday.
A presenting partner.
Oh, got it. Presenting partner. See, you're teaching me still. I'm still learning. Presenting partner. Yeah, so this is we're doing a little Batman and Robin today, right?
I love Batman and Robin.
Little bit of talk about the Albemarle County
He says, keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Thank you. And see what the feed throws our way, and see if we can do Stump the Chumps, maybe, huh?
Stump the Chumps. We haven't done that in a while. Guys, give the show a like and a share. Anywhere you are watching, give the show a like and a share. Live across all social media.
But by the way, when Chumps, it would be Jerry and I. That does not include Judah in that category.
Kate Schartz, hello. Carly Wagner, hello. Lonnie Murray, hello. James Watson, hello.
I obviously need something from you, Judah, later on today.
I see that. I know you're buttering him up. It's pretty obvious what's happening.
Yeah, I know that.
Bill Mooncachi, welcome to the program. Bill, you're welcome to come back on the program. Talk about your business anytime. Jason Howard, hello. Joshua Tracy, hello. Kristen Smith, hello. Dr. John Shabe, the Pro Renata team, hello. Lisa Costello, Kyle Irvin, hello. Kyle Miller, Mr. DL, hello. Bob Yarborough, hello. Travis Hackworth, Kevin Yancey, Dr. Wolf, Scott Thorpe, Jamie Turner. Mazi, how are you? Vogler, ¿cómo estás, Mazi? I enjoyed talking about Ouzo with you a couple of weeks ago. Donna
Ouzo?
Price, hello.
Where did that conversation come up?
Ouzo is a Greek beverage.
I know Ouzo well.
Yeah.
Yona and I courted in. That's an old person term.
You guys dated?
We went to Greece.
You were charming her?
We went to Greece because we were in Sofia, Bulgaria, and it was depending on how often you got stopped by the militia and the military. It took you about 3 to 4 hours to get to the Greek border, and that's where we hung out. When we had a weekend or a couple days off, we would go to Asprovalta, Greece, which is on the north of Greece. It's not down by the islands. It's way up north by the Balkans, up that way. And but we used to drink our fair share of Ouzo. Ratsina is a white Greek wine, which is very herby.
Oh, Mazi, you hearing this?
Yeah, we love that. And one of the interesting things about Greece, which I absolutely love, and most southern Mediterranean countries, but in Greece in particular, on a Saturday you would wander around in the villages over there, and Saturday is a wedding day, typical wedding day, and they would literally grab you and bring you in there. So when you were young people, you would just wander around the streets, and they would grab you and bring you into your families and make you join their wedding festivities. Thank you. And so kind of like we did our own version of Wedding Crashers, except we were invited.
So that's the opposite of Wedding Crashers. If
It
you
is
were invited.
totally the opposite of Wedding Crashers.
Judah Wickauer, we ready to rock and roll? Get the cameras on?
The other thing about Greece is when you go to the little village restaurants, you don't order from a menu. They take you in the back of the restaurant, and you pick the cut of fish or the cut of meat that you want.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
That's what you do, yeah. Anyway, I haven't talked about Greece in a long time.
I like that. John Blair is appreciating what you're pontificating.
Pontificating?
And chitter-chattering about.
I have no idea what that word means,
I mean,
John, but thanks.
You're having a conversation.
We're talking.
I know. We need to rock and roll. Judah
Okay,
Wickauer,
all right.
Gary
I'll
Palmer,
shut up.
hello. Dean Russell, hello. Seth Batten, Neil Williamson, Woody Fincham, Beth Mark, Chip Clark, Sandra McDaniel, Trevor Knight, welcome to the show. J-Dubs, we're in your hands.
Quiet on the set.
Thank you, Judah. Thank you, J-Dub. Thank you, Judah. Judah, thank you. Oh, shit. Keith just, is that your coffee? Oh, man. Yeah, Keith's coffee just fell down. It's okay. Thank goodness we have LVT in the studio here. That's luxury vinyl tile. And not, I think they're behind Judah's desk over there. Guys, good Wednesday morning. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk with Keith Smith, as our good buddy Keith Smith cleans the luxury vinyl tile from a catastrophic spill of a cup of Joe. Of a cup of Joe. Yours truly will fill some time and highlight that this program features, it is live, Keith. This program is the showcase of real estate life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness through financial, strategic decision making. Keith Smith, the star of our show of Yes Realty Partners, Judah Wickauer, our executive producer, and you, the viewer and listener, can share your thoughts in the feed and ask questions of a real estate professional. I think he likes me saying this, that has, 37 years?
I'm old.
37 years, he says he's old. Should we get Keith on the studio camera right there, Judah? See what he's doing over there? As long as it didn't go on the $45,000 of podcasting.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
$45,000 of podcasting equipment. I really do not care.
Do you want the truth, or should I lie to you?
I prefer at this point that you just lied to me. Yeah?
We missed it.
Okay, there we go. We missed
You
it.
can decide if that's the truth or a lie.
People are watching Keith Smith cleaning right now. Judah Wickauer, let's go on a one shot of Keith doing some cleaning. So we'll talk Albemarle County values. I have in front of me the values of Albemarle County single-family detached homes, no new construction, third quarter.
We're good.
2019 verse 223. In fact, you can put this slide on screen, slide 1, if you could, Judah Wickauer. And I want you to look at the escalation of values in Albemarle County for single-family detached homes from 2019 to 2023. And this is just the third quarters. In 2019, this is ridiculous. I mean, in 2019, the median sales price versus 2023 is astronomically more expensive. Can I say that? Astronomically more expensive, Keith Smith?
Sure. I've just finished my cleaning job. What
That's
slide
why
are
we have
on?
luxury vinyl tile in the studio.
There we go.
It costs more to install, but it was, in the long run, the right decision.
Apparently, after today.
Well, I mean, interestingly, there was water spilled by someone's son. I'm not going to name any names. And it was left on the floor for 4 days, and we came back, and the luxury vinyl tile had absolutely zero impact by the spilled water.
I think we're good. We're polished. We're
And
good
it
to
did not go
go.
on the podcasting equipment.
We did not get on the
Are you
pod-
sure it didn't go on that iPad down there?
No. We're good. No iPad. It got a little bit on the cord. No in the connectors. I think we're good, Jerry.
I'm glad to hear that.
Otherwise- otherwise he'd be looking at, what slide are we looking at?
We're going to look at slide number 1 if you want to set the stage, my friend. This is literally live programming at its finest, if you guys cannot tell. This is not recorded.
Well-
if it was recorded, we would have started over again.
and edited
But
that.
we're not starting over
edited that
again.
whole fob. I mean, look, that's 500. This is 550.
First time that's ever happened.
First time ever happened.
First time that's happened since 2019, and
I
we do
dropped-
these shows three shows a week.
This has been a weird thing for me lately. One, I forgot a cup of coffee one show, and the second one, I dumped it down on the thing. Okay, Albemarle County, single-family detached, no new construction. Third quarter over third quarter, stretching from 2019 to 2023. That's slide number 1.
J-Dubs, you want to put that back on screen for us?
Thank you, J-Dubs. So, make a long story short, there's a trend line there, and it looks like that trend line is going up. I think anybody who's been in the market can pretty much figure that out. But since third quarter 2019 up to the end of third quarter of 2023, we've jumped from, this is in Albemarle County, we've jumped from 435 to 650. I haven't done the percentage.
That is ridiculous.
Jump on that.
Appreciation.
But we could surely do that live.
I mean, we are talking, ladies and gentlemen, over 200 grand of appreciation in Albemarle County in a 4-year period of time for homeowners. Judah, did you hear that?
I'd count that as 5, right? So the third quarter's already finished.
Okay.
Right? So third quarter.
We'll count out 5.
Yeah. So out of 5. Out of 4, it was 483 up to 6. But basically,
That's bananas.
we went from a 4 to a 6. Roughly, round numbers, we roughly went from about 450 between 2019 and 20 to about 650 now.
There's not a jurisdiction in Central Virginia that can duplicate what we're seeing on screen right now. Charlottesville City can't duplicate this.
Ooh, Charlottesville in this 1 year, and we'd have to dig up the other.
Do you have 2019 versus 2023 Q3 for Charlottesville?
I do not.
Okay, I'd be
But I
curious.
have this year.
Yeah, you have year over year, but I'm looking for a 5-year trend.
Yeah. So, hold on a second here.
You still got the graph on screen?
Hold on.
Let's put that data back on there. Multiple people are asking for it.
So
We
if
have
you
a
look
boatload of
at,
agents
if you
watching
end
the
up
show.
pulling up
Angie Fink, hello. Brian Roy, hello.
if you pull up, I don't have a coffee. This is. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
we have a full bar. If anyone's been in the I Love Seville studio, I would say, how many bottles do we have over there?
Not enough.
I'd say that's over 20.
Oh no.
How many do you got right there, Judah?
I don't know. It's over 10. Smith can't
1,
count.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 bottles of booze.
So if you look at
Different bottles. Top shelf.
Go ahead. You were going to say something? I got to be nice to you. I need a favor later on today, so I got to be very nice to you today. I'm going to be coming with hat in hand and begging for you to do something. Slide number 9. So that is every jurisdiction from the city of Charlottesville to Stanton or Staunton, depending on which side of the mountain that you come from or how far north you come. So
Lord.
and that is from 19 to 23, right? So,
Yeah.
so you can take a quick look at it and kind of take a look at the way things have climbed third quarter over third quarter for 5 years from both sides of the hill, going from city of Charlottesville.
Albemarle County is dominating.
Yeah, it is dominating, but you know, we were talking about this some time ago, and I was concerned a little bit about Buckingham. Take a look at Buckingham on that. Buckingham, 2023 over 2022, jumped more than I thought it was going to jump. I don't have the actual numbers on here. I'd have to get in.
Stanton City is flat.
Stanton's been a little flat. Waynesboro has been a very steady climb. So if you kind of take a look at the ones that have been really kind of gently climbing up, Waynesboro City, and we've been talking about this for
Waynesboro City looks like a nice,
healthy,
predictable,
Healthy.
consistent, ladder.
That's right.
Stairs.
But take a look at the jump in the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County in the third quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at the screen. Are you showing this slide 9?
So the third quarter, 23 versus 22, particularly in Albemarle and Charlottesville, there was a huge jump.
Nelson
here.
County, the only one to retreat.
Nelson County was the only one, but it was not by much. It was
Still,
marginal, but it kind of dropped. But we talked about this for quite some time.
When you compare Nelson County to its peers jurisdictionally, that's concerning.
It is concerning, but take a look at Nelson County. So this is without Wintergreen. So I pulled Wintergreen out.
This is fun.
our dear, cleaning up or this? Our dear friend Todd Rath.
Todd Rath, Blue Toad Hard Cider. Todd Rath, you watching?
And he made me better. He was right. We need to kind of pull wintergreen out because it kind of skews the numbers a little bit.
Todd Rath is watching. Todd Rath.
But you take a look at 19 and 20, right? 19 was a little higher, 20 dropped a little bit, and then we're focusing on Nelson County now. 21, we jumped up, and then it was kind of incremental jumps on 22 and 23 dropped down a little bit. But really, the only jurisdiction is our friends in Nelson County, and it's not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you, as you know, Jerry, this takes a ton of time and
I see that.
and work.
This is
to
legit.
Put together.
I feel like Woody Fincham had a little influence in this.
Yes. So the Woody Fincham I send it all to Woody, and I say, did I get it right? And I get a thumbs up. So
Cara says, Cara Shandison, who's a mover and shaker, has a piece of feedback for you.
Sure.
That I would love to see area household incomes on top of that housing graph. I will offer this perspective. According to HUD, the median income for the Charlottesville metro area per household, $123,300. I'll say it again. HUD data, median income, Charlottesville metro area per household, $123,300. Multiple people are asking on the feed right now, and you have Sarah Hill Buchensky watching the program, Katie Pearl watching the program right now, the real estate developer and investor, Brian Roy, fantastic neighbor, Brian Roy, love seeing you walking the loop, watching the program right now. Kristen Smith, love seeing toys around the common area in our neighborhood. Kristen Smith, Aaron King, welcome to the program. A couple of media outlets watching you on the show right here. I'll throw this to you. A lot of people
I've got my own. You don't have to throw that at me.
I'll throw a question to you, my friend.
There you go.
That was clever.
I'm not even on my.
You're not even in a third cup of coffee.
I'm on a third
and you're
cup of
still being
coffee.
Clever.
Yeah.
Multiple people are
who knew
saying
Smith
this
could do that?
appreciation in Charlottesville City and Albemarle County, is it sustainable? Deep Throat, we'll get to you in a matter of moments.
Logically, the answer is no, right? You can't see, and I don't have the Charlottesville slide for just this year, but we talked about it, I believe it was last week, and we can probably pull up a slide and send it to Judah. But we had hold on a second, I actually got it on my phone. I can go.
Oh, this is interesting from Deep Throat. Deep Throat, I'm going to relay this to you. Woody Fincham, are you watching the show?
So just to stay on the Charlottesville thing. So the end of the first quarter of 2023, the median sales price, single-family detached, no new construction, was $405. The end of the third quarter, single-family detached was $585. So that's roughly $180,000 increase. Those increases are not sustainable. If you take a look at the second quarter versus the third quarter, that was about 10% increase from 529, my dyslexia kicked in, 529 to 585, which is somewhere around 10, 12%, something like that. Look, to answer it, I expect, frankly, I did not expect to see these double digits increases this late in the game in 2023, to be honest with you. I kind of anticipated it dropping down below the double digit level. I think we're going to see this year ending in double digits in certain jurisdictions.
I've been
you've been saying that for a while. You've been saying that for a while. I think what you're going to see in the next 12 to 24 months is that double-digit increase to get back to more normal, which is the lower single digits, somewhere between 3 and 6% year over year. Look, we'd have to break out the crystal balls, and we're not so sure that they're actually a little cloudy at this particular point in time.
I got two statistical geniuses commenting on the show here.
But eventually, so I'm not a genius. I just look
I wasn't
at
referencing you.
Thank you. I just wanted to get that on the table.
Joking.
I'm not a genius. I don't even play one on TV.
And you didn't stay in at a Holiday Inn.
I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn. But I just approach things from street smarts, logical kind of.
You got a PhD in street
Yeah,
smarts.
there you go. But in any event, I think you're going to see things invert, right? You're going to see inventory continue to drop, number of sales continue to drop, and I think you're going to see the prices increase a little bit.
I'm going to mention this from Deep Throat, who is a statistical genius, and I'm going to pass this comment to Woody Fincham. In fact, Deep Throat, I texted your comment to Woody because I want Woody to respond to Deep Throat's DM on Twitter. Get ready for this. Are you ready, Judah? Are you ready, Keith? And are you ready, dozens of realtors that are watching right now? This is from a data genius. We just call him Deep Throat. I have to say, Keith and Jerry, using median sales price at the quarterly level is simply not something from which valid statistical inferences can be derived. FHFA indices at the county level are considered experimental even when using annual data. The number of sales is too small to guarantee no distortion from changes in sales mix. That is why ZHVI or any repeat sales index is better because it deals with mix issues. We know for a fact that volumes have plunged due to mortgage issues, which absolutely has implications for mix. Woody, I would love if you responded to that.
So
Jason Howard on Rio Road says, this kind of appreciation is sustainable as long as people can sell their homes in Northern Virginia and beyond and come to this market with bags of money and still buy 30% of the houses sold with straight up cash, which is what Keith reported on Monday.
Well, take a look
last week.
Take a look at slide number 2, just
Slide number
specific
2, Judah would
specific to Albemarle County and cash. Look to the good doctor. Look,
Which good doctor are you
I'm
referencing?
talking about. I guess Deep Throat is what we're calling him.
Deep Throat is not a doctor.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming he was a doctor of some sort of
No, sir.
economics or something along
No,
those
sir.
lines, kind of thing. So, but in any event, look.
Macro finance guy.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to take a deep dive into numbers that the normal real estate agent and or buyer would kind of comprehend and use on it. This is stuff that we look at from a day-to-day basis and helping clients one way or the other. But he's 100% right, particularly in Albemarle County, right? So I'm going to take it a little bit differently.
Okay.
If I probably got in there and started tweaking the acreage down a little bit, maybe the numbers might look a little bit different. But at the moment, these are just big picture market trends that the average buyer or seller would take a look at. And what I'm talking about acreages is particularly in Albemarle County. This is the reason why I like using Lake Monticello so much, because everything's consistent.
Yeah,
They're
you
all
have
single family.
4,300 homes.
All the lots are exactly the same. The square footages are generally the same. But if you do take a look at slide number 1, which we'll get to it as soon as Jude will talk about too, that's the reason I started inserting square footage price. Right, because square footage kind of takes out the land end of it, the way we report it. And the other thing is I'm restricted to what I have access to on Paragon, right? So I may not have access to the data that Deep Throat may have. But the bottom line is these prices are increasing and they're growing, and the amount of units that are available to buy are decreasing.
John Blair, jump in here.
Back to slide number 2 in cash.
Johnny Ornelas, what do you think?
Slide number 2.
Kelly Jackson, thoughts?
32% in third quarter was cash. Third quarter in 2019, 23% were cash. So roughly there was a 10% increase in cash transactions between the third quarter in 19 versus the third quarter in 23.
Why don't we do a little bull and bear here?
Sure.
I feel like I can make a convincing argument. I've made this argument many times on this network that Albemarle County values year over year, second quarter versus second quarter 2023 versus 2024, we'll see double-digit appreciation. Okay? We know 2022 versus 2023 Q2 values appreciated according to the CAR report, double digits, was either 11 or 12% in Albemarle County. I think we're going to see a double-digit appreciation in Albemarle County second quarter 2023 versus second quarter 2024 for a number of reasons. I think it's tied to a throttled supply. Inventory is at meager levels. You reported that a third of transactions, what you're seeing on CAR and the MLS
In Albemarle County.
and Albemarle County, are straight up cash. A third of the homes trading right now are cash.
32%, awfully close.
I'd say that's pretty damn close. It makes sense. The interest rate is
Sure.
flirting with 8%, depending on where you shop. Some friends are saying they're locking in over 8%. I had a conversation. Judah was on that conference call with the VIP client on Tuesday, and we discussed the potential for an 8% plus interest rate environment. Some folks are speculating that rate could climb as high as 9%. Other insiders are saying it could surpass 9%. We know that the rate is going to stay stickier for longer. That's safe to say. I've made the convincing argument of the impact of Amazon and an $11 billion investment in Louisa County and what will be 800 to 1,200 indirect or direct jobs coming to this area. Where are those people going to live? I've clearly talked about the Data Science School and the Paul Manning Biotech Institute and the influx of people with six-figure salaries. I've highlighted the fact that Bloomberg, the media outlet, ranked Charlottesville, the metro area, 15th in the nation for hybrid or remote work. All this stuff is happening at exactly the same time.
To include the Outdoor magazine?
Outdoor Magazine, best place to live. Realtor Magazine,
think
best
top
place to
5.
retire. We are having a boatload of national attention while rates are getting expensive, and as Northern Virginia citizens are flocking or migrating down from the north to here.
It's more than that. We've just recently, in the process of a transaction that's cash, that has a 6 in front of it, in Fluvanna County, they're coming from Texas to here. So you're seeing people from Florida here, Texas from here. You're seeing people from Northern Virginia, from New York, coming here for various reasons. This particular Texas buyer is coming here to work at UVA starts with a D.
Data Science School.
There you go.
Which we've stood by and we've waved our flag on this for some time.
But
I have a family member who is very north of 700 annual salary. I'm not talking $700 here.
Got it.
Annual salary that
Is
has
looking to come in here? Oh, good
now
for you.
been given the opportunity
Good for
to
you.
fully work remote and has a contract in place where that full remote environment will be at minimum of 5 years.
Yeah. So he can move out of Cali and
Anywhere
or
he
wherever,
wants.
wherever he wants. Good for him. So I do want to just push. Not we're going to do bull and bear and just to throw this on the table. So I just double checked from a spreadsheet that I have. So the third quarter in 2019, we were at 23% cash, Albemarle County, but the mortgage rate was 3.65. So we've increased roughly 10% until now, but at the end of the third quarter, when I ran these numbers, the 30-year rate, according to the Fed, St. Louis Fed, was 7.31. So the interest rates kind of doubled. I kind of expected cash to be a little more than 32%.
I think the cash number is going to increase.
It could be, but
I don't think it's going to drop.
or their sales volumes are starting to decrease a little bit, and then maybe cash is stabilizing. So maybe people that are trying to sell in these other markets that are coming here are maybe struggling on selling their buyers, maybe because you're looking at big dollars in New York and Connecticut and Northern Virginia. Maybe the borrower can't borrow the money. Is that making any sense? Maybe a bit of a slowdown in cash and volume?
DOMs, days on market, are upticking.
Yeah, but look, man, I had a conversation with Lisa Sturvant yesterday about that. And
She's the chief economist for Bright.
yeah, and the fact that we're thinking DOMs, and I have a slide here somewhere on that, are in the low double digits, right? Somewhere between 6 and 12, depending on the jurisdiction that you're at that point. The fact that we're saying it's climbing at those low numbers is kind of, somebody who's been in this for 3.5 decades, I remember it was 60, 90 days.
Well, I
was
appreciate
kinda
that,
normal.
but devil's advocate, when the DOM was 1, 2, or 3,
Or seconds.
yeah, or seconds, with multiple offers
So
and open houses that were canceled before they were hosted, and now the DOM is somewhere between 10 and 20. That's an uptick.
So for some of the real estate agents that are watching and the folks that are way smarter than me in data crunching, the conversation was wrapped around what is the new neutral market, right? So neutral market historically was somewhere between 6 to 7 months worth of inventory. And she threw out a question to a bunch of real estate professionals around the country on what we thought it was, kind of in a big picture scenario. Some jurisdictions were higher or lower, and I pushed back at somewhere around 3 to 4 months, and I think we're probably closer to 3 months. So what that means is we've basically cut our expectation of what a neutral market is in half, from 6 to 7 months to 3 and 4. And I think when this all shakes out and somebody way smarter than me digests all this stuff, I think you're going to see neutral markets now settle in around 3 months, somewhere around that. And why that's important is that's when the shift goes from
Buyer to seller, seller to buyer.
seller. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So right
Right now, clearly a seller's market.
yeah, and one would argue that maybe looking at my data,
Yeah.
that Nelson County might be moving closer to that shift from seller to buyer's market. Maybe
I could make a
getting
convincing
closer.
argument that Nelson County is an anomaly.
I would not disagree with that. I
And
would
that
not.
Nelson County is the aberration in this data.
If you look at slide number 9.
And Jesse Rutherford's watching the program.
Hey,
He's a
Jesse.
supervisor at Nelson County. I'm curious of your take on this,
Yeah.
Jesse Rutherford. I
I mean-
love you, Jesse.
I mean, if you take a look at slide number 9, again, this is the data the way I crunch it, right? So it's easy to look at and digestible for a Staff Sergeant United States Marine Corps to take a look at it. But, if you just take a look at those bars, they're all pretty much going in the upward trajectory, with the exception of this one little blip down, which is Nelson County.
James Watson, first Johnny Ornalis says, since he appeared on Real Talk and we replayed it on the I Love Seville show, he's being stopped 3 to 4 times per day at bare minimum, with folks talking to him and congratulating
Oh, that's
him
great news.
about Mexicali, the new restaurant opening at the World of Beer location. Johnny Ornalis, the point man of that location, a California-style restaurant with a $10,000 tortilla maker and somewhere between 20 and 30 taps available.
It's going to be
I
an
think
awesome setup when they get it set up.
He was stopped at the gym where he was bench pressing 400 pounds by a beautiful woman wearing spandex who said, "May I spot you?" "Oh my gosh, you're Johnny Ornalis of Mexicali." "Yes, I am going to spot you. I'm not going to wait for an answer." I may have added a little color. to
You
that.
added a whole bunch of color to that, and I hope his wife isn't watching.
James Watson says this: Albemarle County is possibly 2,000 square miles, and the city of Charlottesville is about 9 square miles.
That's exactly
It's actually 10.2 square miles.
Yeah.
It's 10.2, the city of Charlottesville.
Close enough.
It may always be difficult to compare the two to some degree. There's little to no developable land in the city, and new subdivisions always popping up in the county.
So that's a great segue because, thank you, James, because I wanted to take a look at this year quarter over quarter and compare.
May I play devil's advocate to that?
Sure.
While Albemarle County, and I'll give you the entire square miles here in a matter of moments, Albemarle County is 762 square miles, 762. Of that 762, only 5% is allocated for development.
Correct, yeah.
So of that 5% of that, actually 726 square miles.
So you're trying to do the math, how much they
So
dedicated. to that.
726 times 0.05 is 36 square miles allocated for development.
Sure.
And of that 36 square miles for development, it's commercial and residential.
Correct.
And of that 36 square miles in Albemarle County,
Most of it's developed.
it's mostly development, and the topography that's left for the undevelopment land probably can't be developed at this point, or has very
look,
challenging circumstances.
Yeah, anything can be developed as long as
The money's there.
The money is there, and if the price point isn't there, it's going to work that way. But eventually, we'll get to, because I wanted to run again, the way I do things, run a side-by-side analysis of single-family attached and detached existing versus new construction, so that when we get to it, we'll chat about that here in the middle, and I'll let you know which slide that is, Judah. But look, to that point, I I think in theory, those who support the long-term upzoning concept, which I happen to be one of them,
I am not.
I know that.
Yeah.
Eventually, if some version of it will get approved, right? And when
We
it
have
gets,
a bet on that line.
we do have a bet on that. Yeah. And,
December 31st, upzoning approved.
I-
You say yes, I say no. We
yeah,
have a
and-
bottle of booze on the line.
And at one point, I was a little questioning winning
I
that.
read the same thing you read on Free Enterprise Forum with
Yeah.
Neil Williamson.
Well, I've also had conversations. So, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
Very close.
It's going to be very close. But anyway, not to get down that rabbit hole, good or bad or otherwise, but just to kind of address James's comment. In theory, one could say over time that the city of Charlottesville could produce more residential units. And I've kind of been on record for this, and again, I'm in favor of it. But this is going to be kind of a bell curve on value. You're going to see the value continually increase and climb, where the inventory is just going to take a long time to go ahead and increase. So that curve is going to be very low. Eventually, as inventory increases, and we're talking many years down the road, you'll start seeing things kind of balancing out. Look, hopefully I'm sitting behind this microphone 10 years from now, because I think it's going to take that long.
Minimum.
And then,
Minimum.
yeah, and then we're going to go do that. On the flip side, a project in Albemarle County takes about that long to get approved. It takes anywhere between 5 to 6 years to get a contract approved, development approved, and go in there. Greene County is going to be the next hub here, guys. That's where you're going to see inventory.
But are we not at the extent of our political capital for development in Greene County?
It doesn't matter. It's what's in the pipeline already.
And what do we have, 300 units?
No, like 1,800 units.
Is it that many?
Yeah, sure. It's
1,800?
1,800 units.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
But-
including the one in Standardsville, which is another 500.
Okay, so we're looking at 2,300 units. I
You-
stand corrected.
You're going to be somewhere around there's somewhere around 2,000 units.
Coming on market in Greene.
On market is not quite the right term.
Okay.
They're in the site plan construction pipeline. When they come on is going to be over a particular time. But the bottom line is roughly, and we had Jim Friedel on
I
the
remember.
show, and he confirmed those numbers.
I would very much encourage Greene County to invest money into its school and road infrastructure immediately and improve its water infrastructure immediately.
Yeah, so that's in the process of happening on that, so I can report in that. That's happening. They just need a little bit of capital to go ahead and do that. But not to get, again, I don't want to get down the road on positive or negative or all that stuff, but the reality of it is there's inventory there that's going to be coming online. But take a look at slide number 3, Jerry. Slide number 3.
Slide 3, J-Dubs.
Slide number 3 is Albemarle County, because we're kind of focusing on Albemarle County today.
Okay.
Albemarle County, single-family detached and attached homes. This is existing versus new construction, right? So if you're looking at the slide, your screen from left to right, we're going to start with the number of single-family detached existing, new construction, medium sales price, single-family detached, so forth and so on, going all the way down through the single-family attached. But take a look at medium sales price. This is, again, this year of new construction. You see how it dropped a little bit? The beginning of the year was 800,000.
I mean, you know why that is.
And I think I know why. I'd love to hear your opinion on it.
All right, why the new construction values have dropped?
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive.
The
rate environment has changed. Builders are having to offer incentives to get people to buy. Lennar, one of the largest home builders nationally, in fact, is now buying down points for buyers and is offering a 4.5% mortgage.
Sure, and you're also looked at it this morning. You're also starting to see local builders do incentive $10,000. If you use closing cost assistance and all that stuff.
I mean, there's some local builders that are talking about finished basements just to get people to buy.
Yeah. And that is because they've got certain inventory that they've started.
Yeah, they've got
that they
inventory that's in the works that they want to move.
That's exactly
and get
right.
off the books.
But look at the medium sales price for existing is at $650. This is third quarter. The medium sales price for new construction is $765. So roughly $100K more expensive.
The key data that we should be looking at this chart is the median sales price for existing actual real estate, look at how it's appreciated from the first quarter of 2023 of 505K to the third quarter of 2023, 650K.
Now, again, this to Deep Throat's point, these are just median, big throw-ups, right? Big pictures. We don't take out extra acre. This is a very simplistic search. I mean, we can go into all kinds of details, but for the sake of a talk show,
This is great.
this is exactly the path
The
that
point
I
I'm
want to
making here is existing values for homes that are already constructed have appreciated from the first quarter to the third quarter from a median value of $145,000.
But take a look at the
New
median.
construction has dropped.
It has dropped. It's dropped from
$799 to $765.
that's first quarter
That's a
23.
5% drop.
That's first quarter to third quarter.
That's a 5% drop.
Right. But take a look at the SFAs, the single-family detached. It's all the way far on the right of this screen, new construction.
SFA is single family attached.
Single-family attached. It's grew first quarter from 452 to 483. So you're seeing,
And you know why that is?
because it's cheaper.
It's affordable.
It's affordable, right?
Yeah,
Well,
it's affordable in a high rate environment.
somebody would,
I'd say 483 is way affordable than 765.
that's true, but is it affordable to a certain mass of folks? That's a different story. But what I wanted to point out, the other thing I wanted to point out, Jerry, take a look at the new construction units sold, which again kind of matches the number. But single-family detached, third quarter, there were 60 units sold, but that raised from 30 in the first quarter to 60. In the single-family attached, it's been kind of consistent, somewhere around 72, 73, but in the mid to upper 70s. This month, this end of the last quarter was 78. So there's been a consistent volume. The prices are kind of balanced. The first quarter and the second quarter on single-family attached new construction was exactly the same, actually, and it bumped up a little bit from 452 to 483. So you're going to start seeing that. You're going to start, to your point, it's affordability, it's what's available. I can tell you that window is going to shut down pretty quickly. Just
Put
look,
that in perspective.
well, just looking at what lots are available in Albemarle County
Minuscule.
to build, there's a couple, like the Crozet area is kind of getting to its absorption level, right?
Mark McKinney watching the program. Crozet
the-
Community Advisory Committee.
So the big, I think the big growth area in Albemarle County will be Southwood, right? Because that development just got kicked off. So you're going to start seeing some inventory growing in that. But I think you'll see Crozet, unless there's some new projects that I am not aware of, and I'm pretty sure I got most of them
You got a pretty good feel.
dialed in. You're going to see things like Greenwood start, Pleasant Green out there. I think they're probably 50-60% built out. So the builders will start tapping it down a little bit. They want to get rid of what they've got started, right? That's their incentives. They're going to start tamping things down a little bit because they don't want to outsell their lot inventory. So we'll see how the end of the fourth quarter looks, but am I making any sense or going in
Making
circles?
sense. Jason Howard leaves this comment. The King of Rio Road. John Snow, welcome to the program. Vanessa Parkhill, hello. Watching in Earlysville right now. Multiple elected officials watching the show. Olivia Branch, hello.
Speaking
John
of which-
Neal, the commercial broker, watching the program. Jason says, with the talk of retirees moving down after selling in expensive markets, where can one see demographic information on jurisdiction in between census? You've highlighted labor shortages on previous shows. Most retirees aren't moving here to work again. What's the long-term impact of higher percentage of retirees on the workforce? It's a great comment.
And that is frustrating for me because I don't have access to that data, right? And, this is something that I've proposed at the Regional Housing Partnership, that we could start taking a look at doing ROIs for each jurisdiction and take a look at that and work with like Weldon Cooper at UVA that has access to this. I simply don't have access to it. I can I can't even say that word. Say that for me.
Anecdotally,
Thank you. Do that, but I could just tell by the sales that we're managing and the people that I'm talking to, the boomers are kind of overtaking the market a little bit at this point.
and that's was predicted.
Well, if you take a look at NAR has a generational report it puts out. I think this year was the first year that boomers overtook the growth of sales versus millennials. And it's because, frankly, we've got the cash.
You guys got the money. Juan Sarmiento, welcome to the program. Viewers and listeners ask questions, many coming in the feed. Grayson has this question about Albemarle County specifically. Albemarle County seems to stay out of the news cycle when it comes to some of these issues that Charlottesville's having. He's obviously referencing crime.
Okay.
How is that impacting things in this market? Great question from Grayson, who lives in North Downtown.
Well, I can tell you probably not at the moment, none, because if we take a look at, and I'm looking at my phone so I can take a look at it, so I got my numbers right. This year, it jumped from 405 at the end of the first quarter to 585.
Are you talking Charlottesville City?
That's Charlottesville City. This is Charlottesville single-family detached, no new construction, Q over Q23. The particular chart I'm looking at is I did a list price versus sales price. What was the percentage difference? I wanted to actually the mayor asked me to do this for him, so I
Mayor
did.
Lloyd Snook, right down the hall.
But the median sales price, again, we're using median, was 405 at the end of the first quarter, and at the end of the third quarter was 585. So we grew, I think if I did the math, isn't it like 44% from first quarter to the third quarter? I'd have to double check the math on that, but I believe that's what that was. $180,000 increase, single family
So no
detached.
concerns. Data, you're just using the data to back it up.
I'm just saying
That's fair.
That's
the
the
data.
numbers are saying that, you would, if it was impacting it,
That's the data.
you would see it differently. Now, let's see what the fourth quarter does, see if that trajectory goes up or drops down a little bit, but it'd have to drop down substantial in order to lose $180,000 worth of median value from one quarter to the next, but it could be possible.
Kelsey
But-
Ritter asked this question. Keith, can you give us some insight into the incentives that the local builders are offering?
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to go into it so much. I was talking to Greg Slater yesterday, and I believe Southern Development is offering, I believe it's a $10,000, I have to log on and look into it, but I believe it was a $10,000 incentive for closing costs and that kind of thing on that end of it.
Put $10,000 into perspective at a $765,000 median value.
Well, so roughly 3% of that is closing, so that's 71421, right? So
23K.
So I'm rounding numbers a little bit. So you're looking about half of that is being paid by the builder. So that's $10,000 of 23K of less cash you got to bring to the table, because there's two pots of cash you got to bring, right? There's what's required for the loan, right? Whatever you're getting at 80/20 or 95/5, there's that pot of cash. Plus there's the closing cost pot of cash, which is roughly typically about 3%.
This comment gets put in the feed. These stats make it sound like the Charlottesville area is turning into Falls Church or Arlington at a very fast pace.
Yeah, I've been doing this since 1987, built about 600 custom homes. I don't think, other than the time of great unpleasantness, which it affected me personally, but we've really been on this trajectory of moving forward. Some of it is a little higher, some of it's a little lower, but historically, this area always has been climbing in value. It's why people want to come here, because of the reasons you outlined before. So, look, I do not see values going down.
I don't see values going down.
Anytime soon.
This question has been put
The
in
best way
feed.
to explain it, I used these terms in a meeting the other day. There's going to be a deceleration of value, not a depreciation of value. So we'll see values decelerate a little bit, right? So what I mean by that is multiple double digits, right? Double digits, that kind of thing, back to more normal single digits year-over-year increases. We're not going to go see negative year-over-year increases.
I think the best way to explain it is there's more people moving here than we may have houses available.
Look,
I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
I owe, hold on a second, I'll find the right slide. I owe Buckingham County an apology because if you,
That might be the last affordable pocket in Central Virginia.
yeah, but I got a slide here somewhere. There we go. Slide number 9. So, Buckingham County had a substantial jump. I actually can tell you the dollar amount here in the spreadsheets that I built out while you chat for a second.
Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Bill McChesney, the mayor
Stump
of
me, will ya?
McIntyre, watching the program. He wants to be stumped. If you want to stump the, I don't want to say chumps.
No,
That's another word.
That was one of my favorite Saturday morning shows was Click and Clack the Tappet Brothers.
Meredith Richards, welcome to the program. Meredith, we need to get you on the program to talk railroad advocacy. Would love to highlight you on the show.
So in Buckingham, so the
Ray Cadell, hello. Ahmad Hawkins, hello.
So looking at the slide here on the spreadsheet, it was a $45,000 increase in Buckingham County third quarter 22 versus third quarter 23 single family detached, no new construction on that. So that's we're at $300,000 right now for third quarter, and I really would have expected that number to drop. So I was wrong for sure on Buckingham County, which leads to what you've been saying for a while, that that's where folks are kind of driving to. And we talked about that on Monday, too.
And it's the last affordable pocket in Central Virginia. Ray Cadell, hello.
Well, yeah, so you can go to the other side of the hill. So Waynesboro, let's see, I'll tell you where Waynesboro.
Waynesboro's on fire.
It's on fire, but Waynesboro is actually less than Buckingham County. So single-family detached Waynesboro, third quarter of this year was at a median sales price of $290. So that Buckingham actually beat it by, you don't have that data in front of you, sir.
I do right here.
No, but I've got the actual numbers on the spreadsheet.
Okay.
That's just a bar graph. So, that was that. Let me see. Augusta County was $355 last quarter, single-family detached. Buckingham was $300. We've got, Fulvana and all that great stuff we can go through if you would like.
That's good data, Keith.
Yeah, man.
How many people are asking on the feed, do you think about where the rates are going to go? You want me to give you a number? 7.
Yeah.
Different comments.
Well, that's kind of a logical question to ask.
We've
So
already
are you asking my opinion on where rates going to go?
I mean, they're also asking if values are going to drop. We've already debunked that values are not going to drop. So the next question is rates.
Yeah, so is there a magic mortgage rate number that's going to tamp down?
Zillow said
the rate?
between 5 and 5.5%.
No, I'm going the other way. So do we approach 9? Does that slow things down, right? Does that slow the appreciation down? And, as long as
Cash buyers are coming in.
as long as there's a third of a cash buyers, and I just had this thought, I probably, if I took the time this morning, I probably ought to do a comparison of cash without cash and see what the value differences are, see if cash values are higher than I think Steve Peters asked that question one time on the show, versus loan values, which is trading for more money.
Yep,
If you got a loan, you've got a cash. But I think as long as these cash buyers are in the market, but I think eventually that's got to tamp down, because eventually there's going to be some sort of absorption of folks selling their homes, right? There's going to be some sort of slowdown in the cash buyers, I think. But again, I stayed at a Holiday Inn and I play one on TV, but other than that, this is just a straight from the gut.
I like
from
it.
doing this for a while.
Brandon Ertl, welcome to the program. Cindy Rich, hello, and welcome to the show. Viewers and listeners, your thoughts, put them live in the feed. We'll answer the questions and comments live on air. You got a boatload of agents watching the program. Inventory upticking is being put in the feed. Keith Smith.
Yeah, upticking.
Where are the inventory numbers?
Upticking from what?
Well, are they upticking is the first question.
I think you're starting to see a slight uptick in inventory. I haven't really taken a hard look at that. I spent most of my time preparing for Albemarle County's quarterly numbers and kind of talking about that a little bit. But I do take a look at the 7-day average kind of every morning. And, we're at the last 7 days, we're at 63. This is for the car footprint new. I can tell you 3 weeks ago, that was in the 80s. So don't know if that's a trend or not, right? We're kind of dropped down a little bit. The pendings are in 78. They've been kind of consistent. We'll see. The funny thing is we're already got 22 open houses booked for Sunday and Saturday for this weekend.
You have clients that are going to see 22 open houses?
There's 20. I'm looking at on my.
Oh, there's 22 available open houses.
There's 22 available open houses. Now, some of them I have to look at it might be new construction homes, which is not an unusual thing.
One of our tenants just placed rent checks for December and January under the door. If you could grab those, Judah, and slip them on the desk. Man, this tenant has paid through January.
You're a lucky man.
That's fantastic. They're right behind you there, J-Dubs, if you can grab those. The inventory question this is a very good one. This is from Carter watching the show. If the days on market uptick isn't natural to say that the inventory levels will start increasing as well because homes are taking longer to sell and new ones will come on the market?
In theory, that makes sense, right? So if it's
Do you buy that?
I just think when you're looking at very low numbers. So let's I didn't do that. So let's do this as an example. Let's take a look at Albemarle County, just for the heck of it. We can do this since I've got these things all set up over here. It's just to kind of take a look at single-family detached. We'll drop new construction out of it.
I got a take on that if you want me to give it to him.
You can give it to me. I look at it just so that I pull new construction out because they always set them at 0, and it skews the DOMs.
Here's my take on that. And viewers and listeners may not want to hear this, especially sellers. Those that are listing their homes on a baseline or a foundation when rates were 2 points lower, 3 points lower, it's a different environment. The environment's changing too quickly.
No. We're so.
There's a lot of people that are still listing their homes based on a Q2 situation.
Historically, anybody who's been doing this business for a while knows this. Historically, sellers are a little bit slower to react to
100%. You're seeing
market
that.
conditions than buyers. Buyers react a lot faster than sellers because they look at what their neighbor did 6 months ago.
2 quarters ago.
2 quarters ago.
And that's why you're seeing two words. What are you seeing? It's 2 words.
That's why you're seeing you need to hire a trusted advisor to go ahead and
adjustments.
Yeah. So
Changes.
Yeah, modifications, whatever terminology you wish to use.
We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's normal. The market is adjusting itself, right? The sellers are adjusting. They go in. I don't look at price changes right now as detrimental to the market at all because they're just kind of resetting where they should have been. It's not in the.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not in the seller's best interest, by the way, to do that.
Oh no one wants a price change. It stigmatizes the house.
It immediately raises questions.
I think we're seeing price changes because sellers expected list prices, closing prices, tied to Q2, Q1 environments, or maybe as long as 12 months ago. The interest rate environment has escalated so quickly. That's what's causing sticker shock for a lot of people because it's impacting affordability. I had this conversation with a real estate investor over cocktails. This guy, significant investor in Charlottesville and Albemarle. And he said, it is not the level of the rates, it's how quickly the rates escalated.
Sure.
He's like 8%, 7.5%, wherever you're shopping, it's still cheap money. It's just the fact that it jumped up so quickly that spooked the market.
So get back to the 100% right. I've been there, done that. I've got the T-shirt. I went through this at the time of great unpleasantness because it's exactly what happened as the market was tanking, the Fed was raising rates. And when you have tens upon tens of millions of dollars, either in a commercial loan or a development loan, which in essence is a commercial loan, and you're tied to prime, you get the thing. But interesting. So Albemarle County, single-family detached, no new construction, year to date. This is from January 1 to today, 663 units sold, right? The median days on market was 6. The average was 28. So, I'd probably look at the average at this point. So it was 28. So let's take a look, just for the heck of it, what it was the same period last year, right?
Questions coming in fast and furious.
Go ahead. You do that while I look at these, sir.
This one's on seller finance deals.
Yeah. I've
Want me to give you
actually.
the question?
Yeah. Go ahead. I've got a client. I'm a seller client. We're doing that.
The
with.
question is this: with rates escalating so quickly as Jerry's outlined, wouldn't it behoove the sellers to offer seller finance deals where they can get full list price, carry some paper, and then encourage the buyer to refinance in 3 or 5 years when the rate environment changes? That's a damn good comment. I've done 13 deals just like that.
Yeah. So we got to take that from a seller's perspective.
You're doing a deal right now like this, aren't you?
I'm doing a deal from a seller's perspective, and they're probably not going to do it because they need the capital out of that.
Do they have an active loan?
They do. So once they pay the loan up, but it's minimal.
Okay.
It's a
So
small
the upfront down payment that's non-refundable would have covered
Yeah.
the balance of the loan.
and plus some. It would cover. So the way that this works. So if you're going to do
But
this,
they need the money to buy another house.
so they exactly right. So what would happen is their loan was X, which is minimal.
Okay. So
Then-
we're talking under 100K.
Then they have to pay the closing costs
Yep.
on top of that.
Right.
And they would have ended up with a little bit of money with a 20%, which is kind of what normal a seller finance is.
Yeah.
You can maybe get 25
Yeah.
out of that. They just would not, they're not going to end up with enough runway
To buy the next house.
to even put a substantial down payment
Yep.
on the next
Doesn't
house.
work there.
It doesn't work. So,
Unless they have savings in play.
well, then that's a whole different topic. And do you want to use your savings for that and save it and, all this kind of great stuff. And that's when you get like Alex Erpy and all these fine folks to talk to you about your financial picture. But strictly from a buy and sell and real estate perspective, our counsel to them was just probably, let's just sell it. It'll sell quickly. We'll get our cash in hand. Then they can move on to their next property, which they have to, by the way. This is
It's work.
it's work related. They have to do this, and their loan will be minimal, even at the current interest rates. It works for them. So the math worked out on that case.
Offer some perspective for the viewers and listeners. If you go down the seller finance route and you're choosing to sell your property that way, it is a good opportunity if your cash position is strong enough to get a higher value for your property.
So a couple of positives about that, right? And you've got to want to be two things. You're going to have to want to be a lender. You're going to have to want to act.
So what he's basically saying is you have to have a little appetite for risk.
Well,
I mean, let's cut to the chase.
But it
the
depend-
paperwork is so buttoned up. If the folks default on the loan and don't make the payment on time, you keep all the upfront money and you take your house back.
That's exactly
And you sell
right.
it again.
That's exactly right. So that's
I mean, it's really not risky if someone explains it to you.
well, I'll play the opposite of that. That
Please.
is great until 2008 comes around.
I thought we've made a
We
very
made it.
convincing argument that 2008's not coming around.
We've made a very convincing argument that come around that it won't come around. But you've got to be prepared to take that risk, and the risk is, I think, minimal
It's so minimal.
to go ahead and do that.
I mean, think about it. You sell it twice. What was the second thing you were going to say?
I forgot.
You forgot?
I forgot.
Come on.
I did. You hold on to your asset. You get all the capital up, and you can go back and resell it, and you get to keep all that capital in that. But you have to go through the process of foreclosing on somebody and all that kind of great stuff. So same period last year, just to put it in perspective, we were at 28 and 6, 28 average, 6 days. I'm back on days on market. Same period last year, we were 19 days on average and 5. So we only upticked 1 day in median, and we upticked roughly 9 days on the average. That's just from 1 year to the next.
So what's that tell you?
I don't think days on market have been kind of stable, and I could probably let me see something here. Let me go back and
Here's
do.
Steven's comment. Can Keefe offer insight into how many price modifications, as Jerry calls them, are happening? You can actually filter. He can filter by that in Paragon.
I can filter that out by Paragon. I
Yeah,
can.
Paragon's clunky, but it does offer a lot of valuable data.
You've got to work it. Clunky is, you just got to,
Apropos.
you just got to know how to work it.
He's looking up how many price modifications are
No,
happening.
I'm looking at what the days on market with 2015
Days
just-
on market in 2015?
was 60 and 26. So same period of time, same criteria. 2015, the average was 60 days on market, and 26 was the average. So that, just to put that into perspective, 2015, which that was the beginning of us coming out of the time of great unpleasantness. We were kind of on the other side of that. I've been told not to talk about that by Mrs. Smith, by the way.
I like the great unpleasantness. I love the time of great.
Well, that's Neil.
I know, Neil's watching.
So we've basically, we're 20 days on median more in 15 than we are the last. Just to put that in a little perspective on that. So what am I supposed to be looking at?
Price modifications, how many are happening?
I will tell you.
The viewers and listeners are astute. Are they not?
Astute. I'll have to look that word up.
The viewers and listeners are smart.
So last 7 days, 69 price changes. But I have to look at that.
Last 7 days, there's been 69 price changes?
Yeah, but here's a
How many total units are on the market?
well, this was only 60-something came on. This is a 1 week snapshot, right?
Okay.
On that. But I want to look at it real quick. So there was 4 of them that actually went up in price. All of the other ones were decreased in price.
So what's that tell you?
They're in the pending slot, so probably they sell the concessions or something like that. I'd have to take a deeper dive into it. But the bottom line is
Kevin Yancey, I don't agree with you. Respectfully disagree.
69.
What do you think Kevin's saying?
63. We're ready for a repeat of 2008.
There you go. You didn't even read the comments. We've
Kevin-
made very convincing arguments otherwise.
Kevin, I love you, but
That's not the case.
look, who knows, right? There may be something that nobody
watching in
knows.
Waynesboro.
Nobody knows that pops up that could do that. And I think if that happens, everybody in the whole country is going to be in
All
the
right,
world.
let's talk Black Swan. If he wants to talk Black Swan, we'll talk Black Swan. We got a presidential race coming up in a year.
Who wants to talk Black Swan? Me? Somebody?
I mean, 2008 spurred by a Black Swan, mortgage-backed securities and crappy loans.
Yeah, but
That's completely changed. Loans now
Yeah,
have
this-
much more accountability.
the systems are different. We don't have 72 million millennials that are in the point of their life where they're putting family. What do they call it? Not family. They're forming families, right? They're forming. I guess families is the term I think they use. But they're the ones that are coming in to buy. There's 70 million of me that are dwindling year by year, day by day.
Over 80% of American homeowners have an interest rate below 4%.
90% have 6 and below.
Yeah, so I mean, that's keeping folks in homes and not causing flips.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're sitting on stacks of equity.
I think the big question is
Big question is affordability.
I'm passionate about that.
Prices.
I'm passionate about that. But, I asked a couple of really smart people in the real estate space the last couple of days. So if the interest rates start at the end of 24 tweaking down a little bit, like everybody is predicting, what the hell is that going to do to all this?
It's going to make it go bananas.
We're going to go back to 2020 nuts,
Yeah.
I think.
100%.
And not that this is a nuts, right? We
You hear what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen.
I think so.
If you see in a year from now, and it generally happens around presidential races,
Yeah, because
because the candidates want to leverage an economic stimulus
I mean-
to get into the White House.
yeah. So look, the federal government, in theory, is not supposed to impact.
Come on now.
Impact that.
You're saying
yeah.
Biden's got no influence on Jerome Powell? Come on now.
He's not supposed to. Let's
Come on now.
Let's put it that way. We'll stay out of that type of
We're
politics.
staying out of politics.
We're staying out of politics.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, I think you're going to start seeing the Band-Aids that they were putting on starting to take its effect the first quarter. I think I might. Who knows? We'll see. I'm real interested in this Christmas season.
Why?
Are people going to back off buying,
I think so.
or are they going to go the opposite
No,
way?
I think they're going to back off buying.
I hope they back off.
I think they back off buying because they got the holidays and distractions. And I think they're
No,
going to
no. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about using credit cards and buying Christmas gifts. I'm not talking about
The
buying.
American history would say otherwise.
Yeah, so I
Although we're at the highest credit card debt in American history.
so that's the big story there. I think is the
This is
credit.
another interesting stat. This month of October,
Oh, look at that.
the month of October, I know, time flies when
Yep.
you're having fun. The month of October was the most expensive month for homes in the history of America.
Yeah. And
The
you,
month we're in right now, the most expensive environment for purchasing a house in the history of the United States.
so Yona and I started at the beginning of this year of shedding all our credit cards, where our credit cards were all balances are all at zero.
There you go.
You know, saw it coming
Good job, Yona.
on that stuff. Yeah, there you go. It ain't me.
Did you buy that $10,000 bike?
I did not buy that $10,000 bike. Damn, Jerome Powell screwed me on that one. So, and it was not 10,000. It was a little bit more than that. But
Man, bikes are expensive.
oh yeah.
Did this have a motor?
No, yeah.
Was it a motorcycle?
It's called Keith. Keith and his two legs. I'm doing a 100-kilometer race on Sunday in the valley in Kevin Higgins' God country over there, starting at Stanton and doing a 100-kilometer loop around there. They call it the Fall Foliage Festival.
That's impressive. 100
So,
kilometers. Keith Smith.
We will find out how much my legs cramp up on Monday morning on the show.
I have no doubt, my friend, you're going to do extremely well.
Yep, we'll do extremely well. So look, it's almost 11:30.
I see
I've
that.
got at 12 o'clock. I got to go get Mrs. Smith from the doctor's here, and
She's there. She's like, honey.
I'm getting texts.
I know.
I'm getting texts.
I see.
Shut up, and come pick me up. But Friday is going to be an interesting day on the show. We've got two contested race in Fluvanna County. It's in the Palmyra district, which covers Lake Monticello and Zion's Crossroads, which if you are a Fluvanna person, you might want to tune in for that. We want to hear about what their thoughts are on housing.
That's this Friday.
That is this
You
Friday.
hear that, J-Dubs?
And that's part of what I have to talk to Jay Dubs about after the show. So that's a little bit of a heads up there, Jay Dubs. Jay Dubs. But it's going to be excited, and I'm still working on a couple of other contested races to kind of focus on housing. So we're working on that to fill out the month, and then Smith is going to take a stab at this fun stuff that's happening as a class action suit in our industry, but then we'll drop that tease a little bit for
Well,
the
we
end
got to
of
give
the
him a
month.
little bit more tease. than that.
No. That's
We're
enough.
talking buyers and sellers commissions.
Well, it's way more than that. So they're in the middle of the trial right now, and so we're gonna do something next week and kind of digest where it's going. So if you're a real estate agent, you're going to want to watch that.
Keith Smith, the distinguished gentleman, one of the principals of Yes Realty Partners. Find them online at yesrealtypartners.com. They are moving and shaking, and inventory is closing with that office. Yes Realty Partners, guys. Judah Wickower, a.k.a. J-Dubs, a.k.a. Judah B. Wickower, a.k.a. the Jack of all trades, a.k.a. the executive
AKA, he's going to hate me in a few minutes.
director of this show. Prepare yourself. He's about to drop a boatload of work on you is what it
Sorry.
sounds like.
Sorry, J-Dubs.
It's coming over here. My name is Jerry Miller, and this is Real Talk with Keith Smith, which is archived online on realtalkwithkeithsmith.com.
And he can mop floors.
The I Love I'm going to go check that out.
I know you are.
The I Love Seville show is up in 1 hour. Take care, everybody. Damn good show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
It flew by.
Yeah, I've looked at the